welcome to another edition of the Quick Picks show on bookmakers.com TV. I'm joined by the regulars at this stage, Darren Hughes, Mark Fordham and Charlie Mullen. And we're going to have 4 picks from the panel you can see on your screens, including myself, of course, with the now infamous host banker. Less said, the better. Last week, the lads were in fine form, of course. Charlie and Mark nailing huge shouts and winning their wages across the Super League and the Nations League, respectively. Alan Seslowski loves those Miami Dolphins in the NFL. 3 winning picks on the bounce, courtesy of the Miami men. Does he stick with him this week for week 4 of the NFL? Well, you'll find out. Stay tuned, because we'll cross over to Alan and Jim at RotoWire a little bit later on. So do hang on for those NFL picks. Why don't we kick off? We are kind of sticking stateside, actually, for the first part of the show, because the first 2 tips will come from the MLS in the States. Charlie, why don't you kick us off? MLS.
Yeah, I'm going for Toronto's home game with Inter Miami. 12:30 on Friday night, Saturday morning. So if you're coming in from the pub, check out the score, check out the match if it's on live anywhere. But the bet I'm going for in this game is Miami to win, both teams to score, and over 2.5 total goals. In terms of both teams to score, that's been a winning bet in 7 of Toronto's last 9 games, while it's also been a winning bet in all but 1 of Miami's last 8. In terms of over 2.5 total goals, it's landed in 8 of Toronto's last 9 games and in all but 1 of Miami's last 8. A lot of stats there, but worth listening to carefully. In the reverse fixture in August, Miami won the fixture 2-1, with both teams to score and over 2.5 goals landing before the halftime whistle was blown. So there's certainly history in this game. And form is with Miami. They won their last 2. Toronto have lost their last 3. So just to summarize, my bet is Miami to win, both teams to score, and over 2.5 total goals. You can get that in a bet builder or same game parlay for 19-5 or plus 380.
Okay, plus 380 on the same game parlay in the Toronto against Inter Miami game in the MLS, early morning UK time on Saturday. Mark, you're sticking with the MLS. Take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Dean. I don't want to be jumping on what Charlie's selected every time, but this feels like too good a bet to turn down. FC Cincinnati are right in the thick of the MLS playoff hunt for the first time in their existence, sitting in 5th in the Eastern Conference. They're currently on an 11-game unbeaten streak, and they take on a Chicago Fire team that are 12th in the Eastern Conference in the early hours of Sunday morning UK time. While the unbeaten streak has been impressive from Cincinnati, 7 of the 11 games have ended in a draw. So I want to safeguard the bet a little bit with the win-draw double chance. In 9 of Cincinnati's last 11 games, both teams to score has come in, while the same's happened in each of Chicago's last 3 games. In each of Chicago's games this season that both teams have scored in, over 2.5 goals has hit, including in Chicago's 2-1 defeat to Cincinnati in May. In 6 of Cincinnati's last 10 games, over 2.5 goals has also hit. And while Chicago can sometimes be a bit shaky in front of goal, we think the value is well worth the gamble. So we'll take on a bet builder or same game parlay on SC Cincinnati win-draw double chance, both teams to score, and over 2.5 goals at 2-1 or plus 200.
Love it, Mark. Thank you. So both of the chaps there in the MLS looking for goals, and both teams to get in the score sheets in the Cincinnati against the Fire and Toronto against Inter Miami. Okay, that's the MLS. We're going to stick with the American action. It is about to be week 4 of the NFL. Let's cross over to those stats wizards at rotowire.com. Alan Seslowski and Jim Coventry.
I'm Alan Seslowski, along with Jim Coventry of rotowire.com. Here are our 2 favorite bets for week 4 in the NFL.
I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles minus 6.5 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is on his way to becoming an elite quarterback, but his early schedule has been far from difficult as he's faced the Commanders, Colts, and the banged-up Chargers. Things are going to be much tougher this week. Facing an Eagles defense on the road that has players in the secondary who should outmatch the Jacksonville receivers, while also being able to rush the passer without blitzing, it'll be a long day for the Jaguars on offense. And when the Eagles have the ball, their elite offense will continue to roll. Although Jacksonville has a strong pass rush, Philly has an elite offensive line and will not have issues handling them. Look for both the rushing and passing attack to stay hot. I see this one ending with the Eagles winning 31-20.
Betting on the NFL isn't easy, but at times we see an edge and we try to exploit it the best we can. The first 3 weeks of the NFL season, I thought the Miami Dolphins were undervalued by the betting markets. Of course, I got lucky with their big comeback in week 2, but after beating the Bills last week, I don't believe that the value's there any longer. The team that is currently underpriced are the gritty Atlanta Falcons, who have one of the best run-blocking offensive lines, according to our friends at playerprofiler.com. The Falcons are 1-point underdogs at home against the Cleveland Browns. Though the Falcons own a real-life 1-2 record, they're 3-0 against the spread this season. The Atlanta Falcons are shaping up to be this year's version of the 2021 Detroit Lions, who only won 3 games but covered 10 times against the number. Atlanta's QB Marcus Mariota is fighting for his career with every snap. Good-looking rookie wide receiver Drake London has come right out of the gate fighting, and the Falcons have yet to unleash its most powerful and deadly weapon, tight end Kyle Pitts, to his full potential. The Atlanta Falcons are a flawed team, and of course they can collapse at any moment. If you are the type of bettor that follows trends, take the Atlanta Falcons, getting 1 point at home.
Okay, thanks, Alan and Jim. Looking forward to week 4 of the NFL, of course. Now, let's step away from America for a moment this week on the Quick Pick Show here on bookmakers.com TV. It's time to go horse racing, but we're not in the UK or Ireland, Darren, because there's a massive race about to take place this weekend, Sunday, in fact, in Paris.
Yeah, we're heading to Sweet Paris for my selection this weekend. Dean, we're heading to the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, Europe's premier race over the 1.5 mile distance, and my selection in this race is Mishriff for John Gosden and Prince Faisal, ridden by William Buick. Now the draw came out this morning. He was drawn in stall 17. I think something like 9 of the last 11 winners have been drawn stall 7 or lower, but they've all been on good ground or better. It looks like there's going to be pretty soft ground, and when that's the case, you actually want to be drawn stall 7 or higher to have a proper chance of winning here. So that's one little positive tick in his box. But as well as that, this is actually a pretty poor standard of race. Baid defecting to the Champion Stakes, or maybe I shouldn't say defecting, it looked like he was always going to run there. Makes it a pretty poor race. The 3-year-olds aren't great. And I think something that can run to a fairly consistent level in the high 120s or low 130s is going to be pretty much bang there. And you can almost bank on that with Mishriff. He didn't run to his brilliant best at Leopardstown a couple of weeks back, but that was coming off the back of a small break. The ground was pretty dead that day. It was kind of weird. It had been raining all week, and then it was dry on the day, and we got that kind of boggish, heavy, sticky ground. And I just don't think that was in his favor. I think he'll probably improve for that run again. He does actually have form on soft ground. There is rain promised in Paris for this weekend, so it's not a massive impediment if it is genuine soft ground. He's won a Group 2 on such a surface, and I just think he's very overpriced at about 20-1 or plus 2,000. So Mishriff for me in the Prix de l'Arc Trio. I'm going win only, but you'll surely get an extra place in the day. You can back him each way if you were so inclined.
Oh, you will indeed. Shop around, because that big race action on Sunday will be crawled all over by our bookmaker friends, of course, to get your business. Mishriff, always like a class act at a big price, Darren. That's exactly what you've gone for in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. We look forward to that on Sunday. Now it is time for the host banker. Don't laugh. It is coming from the North London. I said don't laugh. It is coming from the North London derby. Of course, Arsenal take on Spurs at the Emirates at 12:30 on Saturday. I will call it mid-morning. It's kind of brunch time for us here in the UK. I fancy a score draw here as the official outcome. Best price for that's around 7-2 or plus 350 with the odds makers, but there is an easier score to land with your bet. This game is going to be frantic. The battle for top spot, of course, is on the line, at least for momentarily, before the other teams get into action. The battle for the bragging rights is always a big thing with the North London derby, and there will be absolutely no love lost at all. Expect chances galore. VAR involvement is almost a given. I expect plenty of cards and ill discipline, but also goals. And both teams to score is 8-15, 15-8 on, or minus 188 for our American cousins. It will collect for the host banker this weekend. I would prefer, of course, if Arsenal don't get the ultimate result, but I'll take both teams to score. Shake your head all you want, Mark. That has been the Quick Picks show on bookmakers.com TV this week. Of course, NFL action from Jim and Alan at Rotowire, Darren Hughes, Charlie Mullen, and Mark Fordham covering a bit of action in France and some MLS. We'll catch you next week.